right, Mark Skoll, you are up first. Go right ahead.
Hey, Coach. On Sunday when Blake Fisher starts, he'll be just a handful of true. He'll be one of just a handful of true freshmen who've ever started on the offensive line at Notre Dame as a true freshman. How rare is that, and what does that say about his work ethic and talent that he was able to make that happen?
Well, it's rare. I think it's rare not only at Notre Dame, but anywhere in the country to be able to start as a true freshman. And in particular on the offensive line, which requires obviously more than just, physical ability. You've got to be able to handle all of the things that happen quickly, blitz, stunts, movements, recognition. And so for you to put all that together, especially at the left tackle position, is extraordinary. What does that say about him? First of all, he should thank his mom and dad. He's got great genes and genetics. He brought up extremely gifted young man with great DNA, but his family, his parents are great parents, and has given him this opportunity because he's so grounded and humble and works his tail off every day. And really proud of what he's been able to accomplish and being able to start as a true freshman.
John Finneran, you're up next.
Hi, Brian. I know you've been doing this a few years, and we've been doing this a few years. What do you take us back to some of the places that you've been for opening night during your career, and how do they compare to preparing to take a team to Florida State?
I think one of the more interesting ones was staying in Reno, Nevada, before we played the University of California at Davis, when I was a young head coach at Grand Valley State. And really wasn't a great move. We stayed at a casino, and not everybody made bed check, and I wasn't too happy about it, and sat some guys in the first half, and we didn't play very well. So I learned my lessons. Don't stay at a casino, and if you're going to do that, make sure you have a more veteran football team. But I think as you go through with these openers, I think it's much more about putting your kids in a great position through your preparation, and so I really focus now so much more. I brought that up because I really turned that into a mess, right? I put them in a position where they couldn't succeed. So what I've learned over the years is really put them in a great environment to succeed. Let them go out and play. There's going to be some mistakes. Nobody's going to be perfect in an opener. But try to prepare them, for all the things that they're going to get in an opener, and let them play fast, free, and physical. And if you do that, you got a really good chance of winning.
Eric Hansen, you're up next.
Hey, Coach. I have a two-part recruiting question. The first part is, when you play these games like Florida State and Florida, or playing Georgia, Texas, California, do you feel you do get some kind of tangible recruiting bump from those games? The second part of my recruiting question is, because this game is on a Sunday night, does that afford you a chance to do some things Friday night with recruiting you might normally not be able to do?
Yes. So we'll get out and recruit on Friday. You can only have a couple of guys at the game. So I'll go out with Marcus. I think Tommy will go out with Jeff Quinn. So we'll get out on the road and see some guys. So we'll be able to do that. So that affords us the opportunity to do that. Look, our schedule, it's a mix of ACC games, as well as, our natural rivalry games. Plus, we always want to bring some Big Ten games in there, and playing at different geographical, sites, NFL sites throughout the country. That all in its entirety entices, student athletes to look at our schedule. So that's where we get a bit of a bump. Like playing on Sunday night, quite frankly, the only game being played on national television is a bump for us. So, those are the kind of things that we look for in scheduling. Now, it's going to be a bit of a challenge coming back, right? We won't have the off day. We have to put in for a waiver to get that, but our guys are going to get back at, 4 a.m. on Monday, and we're going to have to turn it right around to get ready for, one of the best teams in the Mid-American Conference in Toledo.
Len Clark, you're up next.
Brian, can you talk about any rule changes for 2021 and how you've prepared to meet those rules?
Yeah, there's nothing of great substance. I think there's some points of emphasis. There is the change in overtime, where it is 2 points in the second overtime, and that it is only 2 points in the third overtime. So that is a substantive change relative to the overtime procedures. I think there's more points of emphasis than there is anything else, Len, relative to college football this year. Sideline, they extended the boxes from COVID, that there is now an extension of the restraining line down. I believe that goes all the way down to the 20. So some of those slight changes here or there, jerseys tucked in, knee pads, the traditional maintenance kind of things, but no substantive changes per se this year relative to NCAA rules.
Just a reminder to everybody, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function. Last call for questions. Anybody? We got one. We got two hands.
We're going to get out early. Who is it? Who had a question?
Eric Hansen, you are up next.
Eric doubled up. Eric, no questions for you next week.
I'm going for, boy, I better make this one count. Brian, I know that you don't have a lot of freshmen in your two deeps, but I'm wondering how many freshmen will be on this road trip with you, and what do you hope they get out of, even if they're just standing there on the sideline, get out of a game like this?
Yeah, we're taking 80 on this trip. We normally take between 65 and 70, but we're taking 80, and you can imagine the reason for that is the environment that they're going to be going into. We want them to get that experience and get that feel of being on the road, the routine of being on the road, all that goes into it. And look, most of these guys don't stick around for 4 years, right? They're getting their degree. They're going on to, the NFL or moving on to, other opportunities. So, let's get these guys an opportunity to see what it feels like in their true freshman year, because, they're going to be probably playing for us the next year.
Angelo DiCarlo, you're up next.
Brian, can you remind us on your timeline of when you guys are traveling down to Tallahassee? Are you not going until Saturday, or what is the game plan for you guys?
Yeah, and we're not going to leave until Saturday. I think we fly out of here precisely at let's see, our flight out of corporate wings is at 5:45 p.m. So we'll do all of our work here. We'll do all of our Friday meetings, mass, pregame meal, all of that will take place here on campus. We'll board the plane, get into Tallahassee, get to the hotel, check in. They'll get a snack, and then they'll meet with their families. We'll have player visitation, and then they're in bed. And so that's the kind of duration that we want our guys to have in the hotel. Very low touch relative to, when we get to these sites. And that'll be the case for the year. We'll be in masks on the planes. So there'll be, COVID requirements that we'll follow. And again, it's out there. So we want to be very careful with our football team.
Tyler Horka, you're up next.
Hey, Brian, obviously Florida State is doing a lot to memorialize Bobby Bowden in this game with some pregame stuff. And I think they're going to have something on the field and something on the helmets of the players. I'm just curious if you have any Bobby Bowden stories, if you ever got to meet him growing up through the coaching ranks, and just what did he mean to you as you were getting started in your career and then even beyond that as well?
had never had the privilege of meeting Coach Bowden, but I can tell you that, you know, his influence on coaching was real. And I think every coach would tell you that the things that stood out to me first and foremost was longevity at one school, you know, being committed to that school and building a winning program, a program that won every single year. And, you know, that's so impressive to do it year in and year out. I think the second thing is, you know, for me, you know, he started at a small school and then moved Florida State into national prominence. And then his relationship with his players. I think he goes down as one of those icons in coaching as having that fatherly mentor relationship with his players that many coaches would love to have with their players.
And final question will be from Tim O'Malley.
Tim O'Malley.
Yes, Coach, I think this is the first road game since 2017 where Ian Book won't be your quarterback. What are a couple markers you're looking for in Jack when you, right before the game and really in that first series as he settles in?
Yeah, poise would be probably the first one. Decisive. Look, we didn't, you know, we're not starting a freshman. We're starting a guy that's played this game. And so, you know, we want him to be poised, but we want him to be decisive. He's been in this, you know, he's seen it. He knows what it looks like. So to be decisive, you have to be confident in your ability. And we know Jack is. So go out there and be decisive. And I think the third thing, which is, you know, one of the things that we're looking for in this quarterback, you know, position is be aggressive too, you know, push the ball. If you've got opportunities to push the ball down the field, let's go. And those are the things that we've talked to Jack about, and he's given those. Now we got to go do it on Sunday.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good